IIT GATE 2024, question number 61. In an economy, the effort level of a worker in firm I is denoted by EI and depends on the wage rate WI. Okay. Um, Wage rate is WI, which is received by the worker from the firm, and the minimum wage rate is W naught. Effort equation is this. Firm employs NI units of workers, then the efficiency unit of labor employed is EI into NI. EI is the effort of the worker. The production is based only on the efficiency unit of labor. And this production function is given as log EI into NI. Okay. If the minimum wage set by the government is 10 and the profit maximizing firms sell the good in a competitive market at a price P, and the person is basically choosing the wage rate and the number of workers to be employed, then the profit maximizing wage set by the firm will be what? Let's go on the whiteboard and put all this information on the board. So basically, the objective of any firm is to maximize profit. Profit is basically P multiplied by the production function, which is a function of NI and EI, minus the wage rate that the firm is paying. So this is basically P into F NI, uh, sorry, log NI minus WI. Now, EI, I already know what it is. It's basically root over WI minus W naught. W naught is 10. Okay. So the profit of the ith firm will look something like this. Okay. Now, this can be log AB is log A plus log B. Log AB is log A plus log B. So it can be written in this particular fashion. Plus why? Because log Wi by 10 to the power half, this half will come before. So I can write it down in this way. Now, del pi I del Ni is equal to del pi I del Wi is equal to 0. This is what we need to do for first order conditions. Del pi I del Ni is basically P by Ni minus Wi is equal to 0. Or from here I get Ni is equal to P by Wi. Okay. This I call as equation star. Now del pi I del Wi will be giving me P by 2 Wi minus 10. Log Wi minus 10, the derivative is 1 by Wi minus 10 minus Ni is equal to 0. So P by 2 into Wi minus 10 is equal to Ni. Ni is nothing but P by Wi from equation star. So this PP gets cancelled out and this becomes Wi is equal to 2 Wi minus 20 or Wi is equal to 20. So what is the wage rate that the person is going to set? The wage rate that the person is going to set, profit maximizing wage set by the firm will be 20. Rounded off to one decimal place, you can 20.0. You can write it down in this way. Is this okay? Showing you the working once more. It's nothing but solving the first order conditions and then solving them simultaneously. You'll get it. This is IIT GATE 2024, question number 62. In a perfectly competitive market, suppose the market demand is given by this, where P is the market price, W is the average wealth. The total cost function for a representative firm is this, where Q is the output. Okay. Now, then the total number of firms in this industry in the long run. We know that in the long run equilibrium, P is equal to AR is equal to MR is equal to LR, MC is equal to L. Basically, everything is equal to everything, right? The average cost curve has to be minimized. So what is the average cost? Basically, I divide the cost by Q square minus 2Q plus 5. Now I need to minimize the average cost. 2Q minus 2 is equal to 0. Q is equal to 1. For Q is equal to 1, what will be the average cost? Average cost is Q square minus 2 plus 5. 4. This is what is the price. Minimum AC is equal to 4. That is the price. Q is equal to 1. Okay. We just have to put this. P is equal to 4. 10 plus wealth is on an average 80. Capital Q is the total quantity in this industry. So that is, if there are n firms, n multiplied by the output of each firm. The output of each firm is 1. 90 minus n, or in other words, n is equal to 90 minus 4, which is equal to 86. So how many firms are there in totality? 86.
Okay. Hi everyone. So this is question number 63 from IIT GATE 2024 paper. So it basically says the estimated results from a Probit model. So now we are using a Probit regression model, and the results are given in the table below. So you have this table, you have the estimated values in this table, where y is the binary variable. So we know that both the logit model and the Probit model are used when the dependent variable, that is the y variable, is a dummy variable. So it takes only two values, either 0 or 1. So it is binary in nature, and x is an integer. So the find out the probability that y equals to 1 when x equals to 30. So you need to find out probability y equals to 1 given x equals to 30, this probability. Now, if you know what is a Probit model, so this is something that you need to know in order to solve this question, that for finding out any sort of probability, any sort of occurrence of events probability using a Probit model, you have to use the normal cumulative distribution function, or the CDF, normal CDF. So that is what we are going to do here. Let's see how we can solve this. Suppose Probit model, suppose our Probit model is estimated using this beta naught plus beta 1 x. So this is your estimated regression model, right? So we are just assuming that this is the form of your model, beta naught plus beta 1 x. Now from the table, you know what is beta 1 naught and what is beta naught cap and beta 1 cap. So what is beta naught cap? This is given by this coefficient. So value is minus 0.064. And what is beta 1 cap? This is the value, the coefficient corresponding to x, which is 0.29. Right? Now, what do you have to do next? Find out the z value corresponding to x equals to 30. So what will be that value? Minus 0.064 plus 0.029 into 30. So I'm just using this estimated equation. So you know beta naught cap, you know beta 1 cap, and you know x is 30. So corresponding to 30, you need to find out the z value. And eventually what we will do, we will calculate the CDF value corresponding to this z value that we are finding out here. So let's do that. It's minus 0.064 plus, let me calculate this value. This is 0.029 into 30. So it is 0.87. Now from here, if you subtract this quantity 0.064, you will have 0.806. 0.806. Now, how will you calculate this probability? Probability y equals to 1 given x equals to 30 is simply the CDF corresponding to the z value, this, right? So what I have told you earlier is that probability of occurrence of any event, here the event is given to you. For any event, what you have to do, you have to calculate the z score and you have to see from the table that is given in your statistics books, that the normal CDF table, and you have to see corresponding to the z value that you have calculated, what is the normal CDF value, and that will give you your probability. So let me do that. So if you calculate this, if you check this from the tables that are given in the back of your statistics books, you will see that this value is approximately 0.791. So standard normal table is given to you in your statistics books. So you have to check the CDF value corresponding to the Z value 0.806, and that will give you your answer, and that is also the probability of your event y equals to 1 given x equals to 30. So let me repeat what I have done. So in your question, it is given to you that you are using a Probit model, and also this estimated table is given to you. So in this table, you have the constant term and the x terms, the coefficients corresponding to that, the standard errors, the Z statistic, and the probabilities, right? So what you have to do corresponding to the value x equals to 30. So you are assuming, since you have only one coefficient term in the table and one slope coefficient and one intercept coefficient from the table, so you can estimate your model like this. You can write your estimated model like this. You know all these values. And if that is the case, putting x equals to 30, you can simply find out your z score, this z value or the index value. Now corresponding to this index, x equals to 30, if you want to find out what is the value of y equals to 1, the probability of the event y equals to 1, then it will be simply the CDF corresponding to this Z score, and from the books you will see that it's 0.791. So what will be the answer here? It says rounded off to 2 decimal places, so your answer will be 0.79. This will be your probability that y equals to 1 when x equals to 30, and that is your answer.
IIT GATE 2024, question number 64. Consider an industry with 6 firms. An analyst collated the data for this industry as given below. We need to calculate the Herfindahl-Hirschman index, that's HHI. So before we go into solving this particular problem, let me first explain what is this HHI index exactly. So the HHI index is a concept which is used in the field of industrial organization. Okay, it's a place which basically lets us analyze the market structures and the competition in a particular market. The HHI measures the level of market concentration. It is time and again helping economists and policymakers evaluate how competitive or monopolistically competitive is an industry. Okay, so the application of the Herfindahl-Hirschman index will be number one, antitrust analysis. It is used by the competition authorities like the CCI, the Competition Commission of India, to assess mergers and acquisitions and to basically determine their potential impact on market competition. Okay. It's also used for market power analysis. It obviously helps us identify whether an industry is dominated by a few large firms or a more competitive kind of a structure. If we have a few large firms, the HHI is very high. If we have a very high competition where many firms are there, each having a very low market share, then we have a very low HHI. Okay. It also guides policymakers in deciding whether to regulate industries based on their concentration levels. Okay. So this is a concept. The HHI index is very critical in understanding how industries function. Okay. It also tells us about market inefficiencies, policy interventions to promote fair competition, so on and so forth. Now, what is HHI and how do we calculate it? So, HHI, given this example, let me show it with the example. So, HHI here will be basically the market share percentage whole square, 30 square, this 20 square, 15 square, 15 square, 10 square, 10 square. So, 30 square is 900. This is 400. This is 225. This is again 225. This is 100. This is again 100. Add this thing up. 1300 plus 450, 1750 plus 200, 1950. So I take the market share and I square it and then I add it for all the firms. Okay. So that is my Herfindahl-Hirschman index. 1950 is my answer. So as you can see, if it would have been 100 firms, each having only 1% market share, then 1 square is 1. So basically the HHI index would be basically 1 square plus 1 square dot 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 100 times, which is only 100. But here, since I have a firm having a 30% market share, the square of it is 900 in itself. Okay, so the HHI is very large with a larger concentration of a few firms. Okay, if there is only one firm that is a monopoly, 100% going to one firm, 100 square is 10,000, which is very low competition. In fact, zero competition is 10,000. High competition will be lower values of HHI. Okay. So here the HHI gives us 1950. Very high competition will give me low HHI. Okay. And no competition will give me 10,000. That is a monopoly. That one firm gets the entire market, 100. Okay.
Hi everyone. So let's solve question number 65. This is from IIT GATE 2024 paper. Okay, so it says consider a duopoly market where firm 1 and firm 2 produce differentiated products such that the demand function of each firm is given as this. So you have the demand functions of both these firms. Here, Q1 and Q2 are the outputs produced by firm 1 and firm 2 respectively, and P1, P2 are the corresponding per unit prices. The cost function of the ith firm is given as this. The firm's competing prices. The price set by firm 2 such that the market is in equilibrium will be. So you need to find out the optimal price this, right? So for the second firm, what will be the optimal price? That is all you need to find out. So let's start with the profit function of this firm. Profit will be dependent on P1 and P2. Okay, let's make it small p. P1 and P2. And what will that be? So here you know the output 18 plus P1 minus P2 into the price. This is Q2 and this is P2. This is the total revenue minus the total cost 2 into Q2. Again, instead of Q2, you will write this 18 plus P1 minus P2. So this is the profit. And firm 2, what will firm 2 do? it will maximize pi 2 with respect to T2, right? Firm 2 will maximize. Firm 2 will maximize the profit of its own firm with respect to the price it's charging per unit of output. So D not, so del pi 2 P1 P2 del P2 equals to 0. So this will be 18 plus P1 minus 2P2, and here you have 2, right? So this will be what? P1 minus 2P2 plus 20 equals to 0. So what will be P1? P1 is 2P2 minus 20, right? So this is the expression that you are getting. Now, let's consider firm 1. What will be the profit of firm 1 in terms of P1, P2? Output is 18 minus P1 plus P2. Minus P1 plus P2 into the price minus 2 into this same thing. Again, the firm will maximize pi 1, P1, P2 with respect to P1 now. So what will that be? Del pi 1 P1 P2 upon del P1 and set it equals to 0. So 18 minus 2P1 plus P2 plus 2 equals to 0. 18. So this is 20 minus 2P1 plus P2 is 0. Now what do you have? You know what is the expression for P1. So just replace that to P2 minus 20 plus P2 equals to 0. So 20 minus 4P2, okay, plus 40 plus P2 equals to 0. So minus 3P2 plus 60 equals to 0. So CP2 is 60 and P2 star is 20, right? And this is the optimal price for second form in Nash equilibrium. So form 2 such that the market price set in equilibrium is 20. And that's your answer.